Hey everybody, I'm Monty Mont.
I'm GinJeriel.
And
I'm Doda.
And the works of one Jordan Peele, we seen it, or most of it. All right, guys, welcome in, man. The We Seen It crew is back, man. We got a lot of shows coming for you guys. Hopefully you are checking this out on our dedicated YouTube channel, please. We're moving away from the mothership, from the Mighty Sharp Network. We're now trying to establish our own channel here. So we had an interesting conversation about some topics. Doda's been slacking off on shows, even though she's part founder of this. It's amazing, young people. So we started talking. I said, man, we should really, instead of just doing one, we should just talk about one of the up and coming movers and shakers in the business right now. I don't even want to just call him not just an actor, just a director. He's a producer, all these things. Jordan Peele. And so very quickly, a lot of people might know him from, of course, the Key and Peele sketch shows and things like that. And also his breakthrough debut of Get Out. Real quickly, from New York City, born 1979. He is husband to his wife is actually Chelsea Peretti, who is an actual actress as well. If you ever seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine, she's really good in that, and she's a comedian as well. So let's very quickly get into it. Now, we're all, I'm sure, familiar with the Key and Peele sketch, which is kind of, they've done stuff before that, but kind of where they get the breakthrough. Is there anything, we'll go around the room, GinJeriel, Earl, and Doda. Is there any Key and Peele character that Jordan played that you enjoyed the most? Start with you, GinJeriel.
That's a great question. I got to think on this one, actually. I like my favorite, one of my favorite sketches is it's the classic one. I don't think it's Jordan Peele. I think it's actually Key, who is the principal, and he's trying to figure out the names of the students.
The substitute teacher, yeah.
Yeah, the substitute teacher. That's what.
That's Keegan. That's
yeah.
The substitute teacher was their breakthrough one. But here, I'll tell you mine. Mine for Jordan is where he's playing the consequences guy, and he's making up a story where it was like, I was doing drugs or whatever, and he's trying to talk to the assembly, and it's kind of just lame. And then he was like, yeah, and then like a piano fell on my sister. He's just lying the whole time, and it's a classic one. Earl, do you have a favorite Jordan character on the Key and Peele show?
I'm gonna be honest, I never really could get into Key and Peele. That was on the heels of, after Chappelle's show had ended.
Okay.
And then, they brought these two out. And I felt like kind of they were still in Chappelle's shine with the skits, and then in between the skits coming out and talking to the studio audience. So I didn't really think they were funny, but there was one, and it was the football one. Right. And they were like,
yeah,
Aloysius McGonaghy from, Hood Central starting linebacker. Right. Like, I think that one was funny, but that's legit the only skit I've ever seen from Key and Peele.
You never seen The Substitute Teacher?
That's a classic, man.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll get to that later.
I can go on record saying I've never watched a full episode of Key and Peele.
Well, no, I'm like you. I really didn't pay no attention to him. And, I know the show was on. I never really watched the show, but that's a great point. The football one kind of went viral. And this was when the stuff started to really go viral. And I just remember who are these dudes? And I never really watched the show, but clips, you start seeing clips, and then the substitute teacher just went over. Okay, so Doda, do you have anything from Key and Peele that you remember, Jordan?
I'm kind of the same as Ed. I never really watched full episodes, but I have seen clips on social media that were funny. Like you said, the football one, I think that's one of the first ones I saw. But I thought it was really entertaining, but I just never really watched any episodes.
So then it's interesting because none of us were diehard Key and Peele people. You know what I mean? You just kind of see, it's so crazy. I see stuff now more than when they were on the show because this stuff to YouTube pops up. So then when you hear that the guy from Key and Peele is making a directorial debut, and I remember when I saw the trailer for Get Out, I was very intrigued. I was like, wait, the funny dude is doing this, the comedy guy?
Yeah.
Because I really, and the thing is, I don't want to be for sure. I don't know if they did Mad TV. I think one of them did Mad TV, which I never saw that either. But I was just very confused because I'm like, the funny guy? I was like, I don't know how this is going to go. But after I saw Get Out, you know, everything changed. So let's quickly then kind of I'll start again and then we'll go backwards. But for me, Get Out was, I had never seen nothing like it. I really had not seen anything like it. It was transcendent. It was excellent. It was scary. It made you think. Well acted, well directed. Really, just, I mean, top to bottom, I don't really have a complaint about it. It spoke to a lot of social issues without being a caricature of itself. I really felt like it was very relevant and not too hokey or anything like that. So after that, I said, hey, bro, whatever, you know what I'm saying, you got my respect. So Doda, let me start with you. We'll go to Earl and then GinJeriel.
Yeah, I completely agree. I was shocked when I heard that it was him who was doing those type of movies, and Get Out was like really, really good. The way he did the movie was just really cool. I actually, surprisingly, like when it first came out, I think my family was like watching it. I really wasn't that into, because I don't really do horror movies that much, but I ended up watching it and I was like, okay, this is actually really, really good. So yeah, first impression from that movie was great.
Earl.
I remember when I forgot what movie it was, but I remember when the trailer came out. And it was one of those trailers when you sat back and you looked at the person next to you, like, I'm probably gonna see that. And that's like, and you know, like you said, I just was like, okay, this is one of them goofy dudes from Comedy Central.
Right.
He's in horror, okay, maybe. But like that, it's like one of my top directorial debuts for a movie. Like, yeah. I remember, like, it's very rare that I have like a visceral reaction to a movie.
Yeah.
And like I had one with that movie, and I feel like it came out at the perfect time. Like if that movie came out 2 years ago during the President Orange, I think it wouldn't have had the same sort of cultural reaction. If it came out now, it probably wouldn't have been the same. But the fact that it came out during the Obama era, I think it was perfect timing in my opinion.
Yeah. I agree with everyone on here. Get Out was definitely amazing. What I like about Jordan Peele is when his approach to horror movies is he kind of switches like the horror movie norm. So usually in a horror movie we have like a typical white family, or we have just white. It's centered around just white people, and then you have a black friend that's there, and he ends up dying like in the midst of it, right? Mm-hmm. In this one, in Get Out especially, he has the black guy as the protagonist, and he's actually the hero. He's not the one dying, either the first one to die or to die in the film. He's actually the hero, the protagonist of it, and he actually saves the day. But I like psychological horror in general because it makes you think critically, and it's not just psychological horror. He adds in a lot of social. He exposes a lot of social things in there, and I love that about it.
I agree with Professor GinJeriel. But you brought up a good point how he Monty Mont, you know me, like tomorrow is the beginning of my month because horror movies are my movies.
Yeah.
But like, you've watched a horror movie where you sit back and you're like, man, don't go up the stairs. Yeah. And it's only a certain type of shade of people who make dumb decisions in those movies. And, every black person's like, hey, don't do that. Why are you doing that? Run. And like you said, in Jordan Peele's movies, they react how black people will react. Like my man was like, hey, give me the keys. Like we got to get up out of here. Another person was like, well, let me assess the situation. let's go back upstairs. So I respect that comment that you made, that he flips the norm, and he has African American protagonists in those movies. They act how we would act.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I kind of fell out of love with horror movies because they were so cookie cutter. Like you say, the black guy's gonna die soon, and the girl's gonna trip and fall, and the killer's just walking slow. It kind of just was like, okay, great, whatever. There's a few jump scares, but this had so many different kind of twists and turns, and it was so unconventional. And I'm gonna ask everybody real quick, just what did you feel before, at the end, when that cop car pulls up? Let's just talk about this real quick, because it's such a great part of the movie at the end. Yeah. I know when I saw it and the people in the theater, there was a groan because they thought it was the police coming to get my man. And people were like, oh no, before we even knew who it was. Now, did anybody else have a visceral one? I know you said, Doda, you watched it with family, right?
No, I ended up watching it after.
Oh, you watched it after. Okay, well, what did you think when you saw it at the end, when you see the cop car? Like,
I was, it's just one of those movies. Is like, are you kidding me, for real? That's basically my reaction to that specifically. It was like, okay, here we go again. It was like the cycle over and over and over. So, I mean, it just added to like the film itself. So,
yeah, Earl.
I remember I was sitting there, and when the cop car pulled up, I was like, I'm about to burn this building down. No, like I like those. That's verbatim what I said in my head. Like I was like, I'm about to burn this movie theater down.
Yeah.
Like it's like he went through all that, and that cop. I promise you on everything. I like that's the moment where I was like, I'm about to go to jail tonight, because this AMC movie theater will not stand.
GinJeriel, did you?
Yeah. So
anything similar to that?
I was definitely on the same lines as them two, or everyone on the panel. Honestly, I was devastated. I was like, please have a good ending. Please. This is the first time we get to see an African American lead it. Don't kill him off. Do not lead on or leave on bad terms. But I'm glad he actually. I think actually didn't he have like another ending to it originally?
Yeah, there's an alternate ending. There's an alternate ending, I think, in the the Blu-ray and online. But like, I don't want to look at that.
I don't either.
I see that in the news.
Yeah. Well, and the thing that I love too is Lil Rel, who's in the movie, comes out, and he's like, "I told you, man," and that's the beauty, because Black people would say that in that moment, like, "Bro, didn't I tell you? Don't even do this." And look at you, So that was his debut. And again, real quick, there's just some of the great directorial debuts. He's on that list. You have Ben Affleck with Gone Baby Gone, which was outstanding. Bradley Cooper just did A Star Is Born. Orson Welles, Citizen Kane. Rob Reiner, Spinal Tap. Tom Hanks, I think you do. There's just a couple where the actors, I'm talking about actors, not just regular directors, but they just knocked it out of the park. So he takes that, and then the world just gets flipped on its head. Everything is just, it's a conversation piece. His next movie that he then is directing is called Us.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this. I love the premise. I will be honest, I'm more partial to Get Out, but the premise of Us is so good. Like, his mind is, I'm like, bro, this. After that, I said, this dude, he's got carte blanche now. It wasn't just a one-hit wonder. He really knows what he's doing. Again, great cast, great act, everything. I heard somebody say a great director is not just directing, but he is pulling something out of actors, because good actors like to be directed well. It's like great athletes like to be coached well, and he does that. So I really enjoyed Us. Again, I probably got Get Out a little higher, but I really enjoyed Us. Let's go around again. Earl, I'll start with you. Your feelings on Us?
I like it more than the average person. I think there's plot. Don't get me wrong. There's plot holes galore in that movie.
Oh yeah.
But like, if you think about the premise of the social commentary of, hey, if you just give these other people a chance, they'll be just like you. They're just starting out on the wrong foot. You know, that premise, you know, with, you know, she was spoiler alert if nobody's seen it, you know, 4 years later and through a whole pandemic when you were at home. But like, you know, the whole premise of she started out, you know, underground, and then because she was given a chance, she assimilated and was a productive citizen. It was like you said, like, it's, you know, he gets carte blanche in my book.
Definitely. GinJeriel.
Yeah, I agree also what Earl said. But also just to add on to it, it's kind of, he also kind of brought in that point where, so in Us, you know, it's two of the same people. So it's kind of like he's saying like the inner me is the enemy, like that phrase. So he's kind of saying like, that's why when I was watching like a Jordan Peele interview, and he was saying, well, yeah, we're always trying to keep people from invading us. You know, we're trying to keep people out. But what happens when the person invading you is yourself? When you're the enemy, you're the problem. So I love that interesting dynamic. Again, his brain is, it's amazing to even go on that level and then put it into, you know, writing and on TV. It's amazing.
Doda.
Honestly, probably one of my favorite movies is Us. Yes, because
You and me, we friends now. We friends.
listen, it's one of those movies that after the fact, I had to go to YouTube and look up, hey, what happened? What went wrong? Because I was little, my mind was just...
Doda, there's hope for your generation. My God.
I don't know. Yeah, it's just one of my favorite movies. I love when movies, it makes you confused. Like, wait, what just happened? So you have to watch it again. Then you have to go and watch other videos to figure out, wait a second, okay, this is what they meant. Like the underlying message was just really, it was so great. It was great to me. Yeah,
Listen,
I love that movie.
I remember after Us, like I kind of call it sitting my phone down and looking out the window for a minute. I thought about some stuff, like kind of like Jarrell said, like, man, the inner me is maybe my enemy. It was very deep. And again, it's like, I keep thinking, I'm like, yo, this is this comedy dude doing this. Like, he is really, man, he's on a different level with this stuff. And that's the thing, man, like, it's so wrong to pigeonhole people. You know what I mean? Like, he is, first of all, he's hilarious. He's a hilarious dude. He's funny. You know, sketch shows are very hard. Sketch shows are not sitcoms. You know, y'all got to come up with sketches, and you know, you just throwing stuff against the wall. But for him to be writing and directing, you know, he's writing and directing this. You know, Quentin Tarantino writes and directs. Some directors just direct. Sometimes writers just write, but he's writing and directing this stuff. It really impressed me after that. So he takes, you know, he just takes the cake with that. And so. And I want to say something real quick too, is the fact that when we talk about Get Out, a lot of people don't realize that Jordan Peele is a mixed race man. You know, his mother is white and his father is black, which is why I really felt like he could really touch the chord on Get Out. And then with Us maybe dealing with some of the inner issues that he's had to maybe deal with just growing up, because I want to say it right, you know, you would not know he's mixed, you know, looking at him, you know, you just think he was black, and a lot of people were shocked by that. So I'm sure he's had to be places where his mother has come in and he's felt a whole different shift in the room where people are like, oh, you know, it's just very interesting. I feel just learning more about it. Go ahead, Earl.
It's that, and then you know how we are sometimes, where it's just like, we jump on him, we're like, oh man, this is great. And then you see his wife. Well, you know, some people saw his wife and it was like, hold on, like, how can you be for the culture,
right?
But you have a Caucasian wife, and it's just like, and I had to work on that myself, but it's just like you can't knock somebody because they have a certain viewpoint. You know what I mean? It's just like if the black culture canceled him for having a white wife, we wouldn't get Us, or we wouldn't get these movies that have predominantly black cast and black crew members for who, you know, his wife is. It's just, you can't pigeonhole people, and then you can't cancel folks because they don't fit your viewpoint, so to speak. Because he's got stories that when you look at him, he's black, so he's had the Black experience,
Right.
and he has those stories to tell.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm gonna tell you this too. He now, and I meant to say this before, of course, he is an Oscar winner. He won, best screenplay for Get Out, which I remember just in a separate conversation, me and Earl and a couple guys had a conversation about Donald Glover when he won the Emmy. And he didn't win the Emmy for his show, but he won it for directing the show. And I was like, man, understand something. He's getting keys to unlock doors. And Jordan Peele, there was a time, there was a big uprising, and John Boyega was speaking at a rally, and John Boyega basically said, I might not ever get a job again for what I'm about to say. And he's speaking on some racial issues and things, and protecting Black women. And John Boyega is a British actor. And once he said that and it went viral, Jordan Peele tweeted and said, listen, you will always have a job if I have something to say about it. Mm-hmm. And wow. He's now in a position to do that because he can give jobs, because now he's a director. So he can hire John Boyega for anything he wants, you know what I mean? That's so huge for our culture because, again, Earl makes a good point. A lot of times Black people were very hard on each other, but, we haven't had the luxury of looking through film history and seeing many of us hold an Oscar up. Mm-hmm. Seeing many of us, even as directors, we got to, view. So his journey is extremely important for our culture.
Is that, and not to cut you off, but like you said, getting, he's got the keys to the kingdom, so to speak. Candyman, he executive produced that, and I think he maybe wrote a little bit, but he hired an African-American woman to direct that movie. And I think that I'm confident that was the first horror movie directed by an African-American female that debuted #1.
Wow.
Definitely. And so, we've got 50 years of horror movies directed by white men. And then, he wins an Oscar, he can produce more, and he gives us, Black woman a chance to direct, and it's #1 movie.
That's a great segue as well, because our Candyman expert is here, Doda. And so I don't know if anybody else has seen it. She is ready to go, locked and loaded.
Really?
I have not seen it, but please give us the full. Yeah, Earl, I'm telling you.
What do you mean expert?
She's ready for it. She's ready for it.
She's seen the old one, or she's seen the new one?
Right. She saw the new one. I don't know if she's seen the old one. She saw the new one.
Let me know about the new one, because I ain't seen that.
Let us know. Go ahead, break it down.
Okay. No, I haven't seen the old one, but watching the new one made me want to see the old one because they tie characters in with the old movie with this new one. Okay, so I don't know why, but I really wanted to see this movie because as a kid, we would play around with stuff like that, like Candyman, Bloody Mary. So I was really intrigued, first off, because we would just do that as kids. Anyway, don't play around with that stuff because clearly, based upon the movie, it was actually really, really, really good. I just like how he takes these actors and it's like he's pushing them almost. Like Yaya, he's an up and coming Black actor, and he's like literally molding these people. Same with Daniel, same with other people and us. But this movie was actually really, really good. I don't know. It's hard to rank these movies because they just have like this underlying meaning to them that are really powerful. Like this one really focused on like how Black African Americans are being thrown and misunderstood by white cops. And ultimately throughout like the decades, each and every single Candyman is like basically rebirthed within a new Black person, because in the same neighborhood, these same white cops are convicting people of crimes that they didn't do. So now these Black people are coming back as Candyman to then kill off people, obviously kill the cops and things like that. So yeah, it was actually really powerful. The ending was really powerful. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's really good. They may do a sequel, may or may not. I don't know, but it's really good.
Interesting. Did anybody see? GinJeriel, did you see it?
No, I didn't get a chance to watch the new one. I read up on it, but based on what she's saying, it makes me want to see it. But I have not seen it.
I remember the first one was based in the Cabrini Green projects in Chicago and was very, very powerful. And this new one is Nia DaCosta is the director. Shout out. And again, man, just some great African-American talent in this. Yahya Abdul-Mateen, who is just blowing up, will be in the new Matrix movie if you want to check out for him as well. Tiana Paris. Coleman Domingo is a great actor. Coleman Domingo is actually in, he's in Chadwick Boseman's last movie. Lord, I'm blanking on it right now.
The one with Delroy?
No. Oh my goodness, it's a shame right now. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Okay.
Coleman Domingo was an excellent actor. And again, guys, I don't want to just keep harping on it, but we're able to see talent that we might not normally see because a person like Jordan Peele has broken through and now created opportunities for others. You know, just like Spike Lee did Giancarlo Esposito and Lawrence Fishburne, so many actors that he helped to get along and things like that. And it's such a good thing to see. And let me just quickly too, before we wrap it up, I am going to check out Candyman as well too, because I do want to support. But I'm trying to see really quickly. Also, he was also on the Twilight. Now I haven't seen any of the new Twilight. Has anybody seen any? I haven't seen any of the new Twilight stuff. That was for CBS. Keep getting them checks, because that's network money right there, syndication, baby. I ain't mad at you on that. You know, but he's looks like he's got upcoming, him and Michael and Keegan Michael Key have something up in the works upcoming. He's doing a couple of more different projects, but I'm very excited for whatever next thing he does. I don't know if he's just gonna stay in this horror genre. Whatever he does, you know what I mean? Do your thing, bro, because he's obviously talented in comedy, talented in horror as well. I believe the sky's the limit. I'll tell you what, we'll go around real quick. I would like to see Jordan Peele work with, and I'll have y'all maybe quickly try to come up with someone you'd like to see him work with. I would like to see Jordan Peele. I don't want to just be too stereotypical, but I would love, it wouldn't have to be horror, but I would love to see him work with, like, you know, a Viola Davis. Somebody, like, he's been giving a lot of new and young and upcoming people a shot, but I love to see him work with a seasoned, I don't want to just say Denzel, but, you know, somebody like Viola Davis, that's, you know, or my guy. Now, I really would love to see him in, like, Jeffrey Wright, do something, somebody a little established. Is there anybody that you'd like to see Jordan work with, maybe on an upcoming project? It doesn't have to be horror, but just a great actor. I'll start. GinJeriel, do you have anybody?
Well, I was actually going to say someone like Denzel or Will Smith.
You go ahead if you want to.
Yeah. I was going to say that only because, you know, I just like you said, the seasoned vets, if you will, that's been in the game a long time, and I feel like they could make an interesting dynamic, you know, him as the director and kind of guiding them in the way. I think it would be really good if I saw either one of them.
Doda?
Yeah, I would actually have to agree with as far as like directing things like that, if he could do it with Denzel, because I know he's starting to get back into directing. I know he's about to do a movie with Michael B. Jordan. So it'd be cool to see him work with those people. Just honestly, I feel like his main purpose and goal should just stick to like promoting and pushing Black female male actors, because not a lot of people are doing that, and I just want to see them rise. So whoever, wherever, that's what I'm doing.
Earl?
His next movie comes out next year. It's called Nope, and it's with my boy Daniel Kaluuya.
Yeah.
My Asian son Stephen Yeun. Look up his movies. Like that's my guy.
You know, Stephen Young is yeah.
But I would say I think I'm gonna take a page from Jarrell and say like the older mature actors. Like I would like to see him with Lawrence Fishburne or Forrest Whitaker or Angela Bassett.
Oh yeah.
Because like they've been around for years, and you know, I hate to say it, but they haven't gotten their proper due. Yeah. I mean, when's the last, like, Angela Bassett was nominated, Angela and Lawrence were nominated for What's Love Got to Do With, and that was almost 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I think they got to get some shine if he's got the pull for it.
Well, and that's interesting you say that too, because Anthony Hopkins was just in a movie he won the Oscar for. And I wondered, and honestly, I saw the movie. He's great in it. But it's about the opportunity. Like we
Yeah.
all know Angela Bassett with a great role will knock it out of the park. She's just got to get the chance,
Yeah.
which we're not seeing a lot of. But fortunately, for now with the Donald Glovers and the Jordan Peels and the, the other, out Ryan Coogler's, things like that, they're giving more shots to that. I mean, of course, Forrest Whitaker's won Oscars before. We know he's great, you know what I mean? But it's like at that age for Anthony Hopkins to get that good of a role, I wonder, will Lawrence Fishburne get another? I hope so. So here's to it, man. We just wanted to give a shout out to Jordan. Keep doing what you're doing, man, because your mind, man, you're writing and directing some amazing things. So any last words before we go?
No, I just, if you ain't seen Us, check it out. If you haven't seen Get Out, check it out.
Yeah, he's outstanding in that. Thank you guys. Again, you know where to check us out. This is the We Seen It podcast. We Seen It is the channel. Please check it out on YouTube. We need some subscribers, man. Please appreciate it. We're trying to now. I don't know. We might do maybe 1 or 2 more shows, and then we're going to exclusively just be on the We Seen It straight off of that from Mighty Sharp Network. So you know what to do, guys. I want you to be blessed. Stay sharp.